have Billy Hania from Gaza, who will give us a brief on Germany's involvement in Gaza. Please warmly welcome.
Kia ora. Thank you everyone for being here today. We really appreciate your support. You have been coming, you have been steady in your support for justice in Palestine. Now, not everyone is supportive of justice in Palestine. Some countries are actually, in particular governments, are very, very complicit, and it isn't the United States only. We have been marching to the United States consulate here, but now Germany appears in the front line assisting Israel in its genocide. Among the EU nations, Germany is actually the largest contributor to weapons and aid to Israel. It has increased its military assistance tenfold after October 7th to Israel. The German police has been very violent against activists that support Palestine, and we have friends in Germany that have called us to have a picket and a march against the German consulate, which will be part of today's march. I am seeing also in news here about the Palestine Congress in Germany, where the police raided their offices and cut down the power and violently attacked him. They're attacking activists in marches as well. And I have here a statement I want to play from Dr. Ghassan Abu Sitta, who is a Palestinian UK surgeon that was in Gaza and documented all the evidence, all the war crime that Israel has committed in Gaza, and was going to go to Germany. He did fly to Germany, but prevented him from entering the airport and interrogated him for 3.5 hours. I'm going to play a sound clip right here so you can hear straight from him what he went through. Down with Germany's support to apartheid Israel. Here we go.
My name is Dr. Ghassan Abu Sitta. I've just returned from Germany, where I have been prevented from entering the country for attending a conference in Germany to give evidence on the war in Gaza and my witness statement as a doctor working in its hospitals. So this morning at 10 o'clock, I landed in Berlin to attend a conference on Palestine, where I had been asked, along with many others in the UK, in the United States and in Europe, to give my evidence of the 43 days that I had seen in the hospitals in Gaza, working in both Shifa and Al Ahli Hospital. Upon arrival, I was stopped at the passport office. I was then escorted down to the basement of the airport, where I was questioned for around 3.5 hours. At the end of 3.5 hours, I was told that I will not be allowed to enter German soil, that that this ban will last the whole of April, and not just that, that if I were to try to link up by Zoom or FaceTime with the conference, even if I was outside Germany, or I were to send a video of my lecture to the conference in Berlin, then that would constitute a breach of German law, and that I would endanger myself to having a fine or even up to a year of prison. I then was asked at the end to book a flight back to the UK. My passport was taken away from me, and then I only got my passport back as I was boarding the plane. As Germany is defending itself against the Nicaraguan charges that it is an accomplice to the genocidal war, as described by the International Court of Justice, this is exactly what accomplices to a crime do. They bury the evidence and they silence or harass or intimidate the witnesses. And so, as members of a gang that has committed a heinous crime, Germany is doing its bit in that crime, which is to ensure that there is complete impunity, and so that the genocide can continue uninterrupted. So the Jewish intellectual Hannah Arendt, in the first lecture that she gave in Germany in 1958 after the Second World War, she said, we humanize what is going on in the world and in ourselves by speaking of it. And in the course of speaking of it, we learn to be human. There is so much peril before us. To speak of it in earnest, to understand the causes and the alternative is to practice our humanity. And this crackdown on free speech is a dangerous precedent, because what is happening in Gaza is a dangerous precedent. We are watching the first genocide unfold in the 21st century. And for Germany to become implicated as an accomplice in silencing the witnesses of this genocide does not bode well for the rest of the century.
Thank you. Thank you for being human. Thank you for speaking up. Please make sure your voice gets heard when we march down to the German consulate. Make sure your voice gets heard for every complicit government that sides with the genocidal state of Israel, including the New Zealand government. When you see politicians, when you see business people that are profiting from the genocide, speak up and expose them, expose their crimes, because they don't belong in office. They should be behind bars for contributing to the genocide and the injustice that's happening worldwide. Thank you.